Hi everyone, in this video, I'm going to show you the top 70 best project manager interview questions and answers. My name is Jasmine, and this channel is all about showing you how to become a highly paid cybersecurity, ethical hacking, and cloud pro fast. Project manager is one of the most demanding job roles, experiencing huge demand from global recruiters. Zippia's recent statistics revealed that there are nearly 877,205 project manager job openings in the U.S. alone. Global demand is much more than this. Organizations need skilled and seasoned project managers for timely project completion in a highly optimized manner. Recent reports in a survey confirm that nearly $122 million for every $1 billion invested goes to waste because of poor project management. Project managers help businesses save money. Whether you're hiring a project manager or appearing for an interview for this job role, you need to know some key interview questions and answers so that the right opportunity and right candidate are grabbed. 1. Tell us some techniques you will use to collect real-time project requirements. Collecting project requirements is a joint effort of project stakeholders, functional experts, and business analysts. The most common techniques used for this task are data gathering, data analysis, observation, affinity diagram, priority requirement optimization with Moscow, and prototyping. Often, gathered requirements are then categorized as reliability, transition, functional, non-functional, quality, user interface, and regulatory. This categorization is important as it allows the team to find out different project requirements and plan the project planning accordingly. 2. What is the use of maintaining a requirement traceability matrix? The requirement traceability matrix is important because it enables the project management team to trace the project requirements at every stage. This way, it enables the team to make sure that no project phase is closed until all the requirements are well taken care of. 3. What details should be part of a project plan? To provide proper guidance, a given project plan must include project execution details, project monitoring techniques, project tracking, project budgeting, and project closing information. It even includes details like project scope, cost estimates, schedule, budget constraints, and project baselines. 4. Tell us your thoughts on risk planning. Do you plan risk management for your projects? Risk planning is a key aspect of project management, and it should remain a priority in effective project planning and management. With this, one gets assured of project success as threats and risks are reduced. A viable risk management strategy involves extensive risk discovery, analyzing the potential risks, anticipating the impacts, categorizing the risks, developing quick risk responses, and maintaining a risk record to avoid them in the future. 5. Can you explain the differences between QA and QC? Both are important for ensuring quality across projects. QA means quality assurance and refers to the standard principle that one follows to ensure that deliverables are according to the preset quality standards. Seamless execution and development are required to achieve QA. QC means quality control, and it involves tracking the outcomes and analyzing whether they have adhered to the standard quality benchmarks. 6. Can you explain some change request challenges? Change request or CR is often tedious. Its common challenges are no formal change management plan, stakeholders informally raising CR, frequent CR, and a lack of interest from stakeholders and the team in the CR process. 7. Do you know anything about Pareto analysis? As per Pareto analysis, 80% of results are achieved with 20% of actions. Project managers mostly use this analysis to prioritize tasks and work on key tasks early. 8. Have you ever used the Gantt chart template? If yes, can you explain the tool? Yes, I have used the Gantt chart template as this is one of the most versatile project management tools out there. Mostly, it's used in project planning, task management, scheduling, and resource management. It lets you import-export key data over a single click. 9. Explain the key elements of the triple constraint. There are 4 key elements of this concept. Cost effectiveness of the project. Projects should be delivered on time, each project should have a scope, and the project must fulfill the quality demands. 10. What do you mean by scope creep? Scope creep is the term we use when there are gradual, unrecorded changes in original project requirements. 11. What do you mean by waterfall strategy? Waterfall is a very well-known project management strategy. It's linear and permits building and addressing dependencies to progress the project. It's preferred chiefly for small projects with clear goals. 12. Do you know anything about critical path? The critical path is a well-known method of identifying the critical tasks that hold the highest importance for the project. It's mainly used to identify the tentative schedule for the projects while leaving some time to cover delays. 13. Can you explain dependencies? Dependencies are used to explain the project activities and order activities relationship. There are 4 key dependencies. Start to start explains that the predecessor task must take place before the successor task. Next, we have finish to start dependencies that state that predecessor tasks must finish before the successor. Start to finish is the 3rd dependency, which means predecessor tasks should start before the successor task finishes. Lastly, we have a finish to finish dependency, which means the predecessor task should finish before the successor task. 14. Explain sprint. Sprint is a measure in Agile methodology that signifies a set time unit within a project where dependencies should be completed. A Scrum Master defines sprints for projects and conducts regular stand-ups to ensure that sprint goals are fully achieved. 15. Which actions will you take to bring an off-rail project on track? In case a project is going beyond the defined time, budget, and scope, the ideal way to bring it on track is to track the discrepancies between actual and planned project planning to find out what's causing the delay. Once you identify the reason for the delay, its solution should be planned and applied. 16. Kindly tell us about 3 main issue types that a project faces. 1. Communication is a common issue where information isn't appropriately shared during a project, causing confusion and delays. A project manager's role is arguably to promote communication and minimize delays caused by miscommunication. 2. Business objective and project goal misalignment is another common issue for projects. That misalignment is caused by not setting clear expectations for what a project will accomplish and how doing so will promote business objectives. It's key to make sure all stakeholders know what a project will accomplish and how it will meet their needs. 3. Lack of accountability is another main issue type that projects face. Well-intentioned people will do what they need to when told that it's their responsibility. A lack of responsibility and accountability generates confusion because people don't know what they should be doing or approving, when and how. Building accountability is key to drive necessary decision-making and work. 17. Can you explain the importance of WBS? WBS stands for Work Breakdown Structure, and it's important because this lets you divide extensive project deliverables into small and easy-to-manage sections. It assigns those chunks to individuals or teams to promote accountability and inform about what is whose responsibility. 18. Do you find the waterfall method relevant presently? Where Agile methodology is a more attractive modern project management framework, waterfall methodology has waned in popularity. While waterfall project management can be effective, it tends to be slower than other successful methodologies. Consequently, it's not widely used anymore. I think it is only relevant when you wish to quickly create a prototype or launch an MVP, minimum viable product, to show to your investors. 19. How can you decide if a project has failed? A project fails when it's not delivered on time, has exceeded the pre-decided budget, does not meet the QA standard of the client, or has no clear deliverables. 20. How can you avoid low project visibility for your project? The easy way to prevent low project visibility is to use project milestones, track them in real time, and report them frequently to stakeholders. This keeps the project management team updated about the project's progress at every stage and gains deeper visibility. 21. How can you do resource leveling? Resource leveling is the most adopted resource optimization technique that permits an organization to use the offered resources effectively and do fair resource allocation. You can make it happen by prolonging the project's start time, eliminating the tasks with the least importance, setting a resource budget, and assigning alternative resources. 22. Are resource leveling and resource smoothing the same? No, these two are different terms. Resource leveling means effective and need-based resource allocation, while resource smoothing means changing the project activities so that the predefined resource requirements don't exceed. 23. What should be part of the project charter? Mainly, the project charter should include details about project objectives, deliverables, sponsor details, risks, defined team member roles, signatures, critical success factors, assumptions, and project success. 24. Define SMART goals. SMART goals are goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely delivered. 25. Which one you will prefer for a project that has tight deadlines, SMART goals or clear goals? For such a project, SMART goals are preferred as they will help in timely delivery. These goals are very specific and will not waste time with unnecessary considerations. Clear goals are preferred for long-term projects. 26. What should be a part of the project execution phase? Project execution is the third stage of the project lifecycle. It is often concerned with executing the project management plan created in the prior planning phase, carrying out extensive quality management, using real-time project tracking, adopting a proactive approach, and handling the stakeholders' expectations. 27. Can you name some KPIs that are used for project monitoring? There are multiple KPIs used for project monitoring. For instance, we have the CPI or Cost Performance Index, which is the ratio of earned value and actual cost. Then we obtain the ROI or return on investment by multiplying the ratio of net benefits and cost by 100. EV is another important KPI, and it is the ratio of the percentage of completed work and the budget at the time of completion. 28. Can you state some advantages of the critical path method? The critical path is preferred as organizations prioritize key tasks, avoid delays, effectively allocates resources, and optimizes efficiency. This method is an ideal way to gain a deeper level of clarity on given projects and learn about the constraints balance. 29. Are issues and risks the same terms in the context of project management? No. Issues and risks are two distinct terms. Risk is an undefined and uncertain event that will take place in the future. It could have a positive or negative impact on you. Issues are present-day situations that are mostly harming the project objectives. 30. What do you mean by RAID in project management? RAID, which stands for risks, actions, issues, and decisions, is a powerful tool that project managers often use to spot the key issues, plan actions, fix the issues, and make data-driven decisions. This way, projects are delivered in an organized manner. 31. Give an example of how you can implement resource leveling during the process. Using resource leveling during the process stage is a common example. Project processing is an extensive stage and can have multiple unexpected situations, like a sudden change in resource availability. When this happens, you can use resource leveling to find out which part of the project is consuming too many resources and reallocate the resources accordingly. 32. State the common cases that are used to decide accurate project time in the critical path method. Finding the longest time each activity consumes is the third stage of the critical path method. Most commonly, it's done using experience and knowledge-based data. The common cases that help in finding the project time estimate are A. Ideal case scenarios, B. Normal case scenarios, and C. Worst case scenarios. The project estimate is the average of the three scenarios. 33. How can you avoid unclear project goals? Projects with unclear goals are likely to fail. Project managers can avoid this from happening by using the project charter as it explains scopes, objectives, team responsibilities, and project blueprint. WBS, or work breakdown structure, is also a great way to avoid unclear goals. This is a very common productivity technique as it breaks a huge project into easy-to-process tasks. 34. As a project manager, what techniques do you use the most to define the project scope? Clear and crisp communication of the project scope is vital for the team as it leads to project success. When a team knows what deliverables are, it works in a given direction. Techniques like value engineering, product breakdown, value analysis, and alternatives analysis are apt for defining the project scope effectively. 35. How do you deal with gold plating for your projects? The best practice to avoid gold plating is to avoid anything that is beyond the key requirements and doesn't fall in the scope baseline. Also, project managers should find a way to gain an outsider's view of the project's scope. Hiring an independent auditor or inspector helps greatly. 36. What are your thoughts on earned value management? Do you find EVM useful? EVM is a highly practical approach that enables project managers to track the existing discrepancies and performance so that project forecasting can be done. It's a great way to keep projects on schedule, but it's highly tedious as it involves real-time scheduling and cost performance index. To expedite project administration, it's better to use an automated tool. 37. Which actions define the stakeholders of the project? Anyone is a project stakeholder if she is involved in funding the project. Resource supply is a direct user or client, has legal control on the projects, and plays a key management role. 38. What do you mean by stakeholder analysis, and how do you use power interest grid for this? Stakeholder analysis is finding the potential stakeholders and listing them so that the team and other decision-makers are aware of their presence. The power interest grid is the most common technique to categorize the stakeholders. In this technique, stakeholders are differentiated based on the power they have and their interests. 39. What is the role of the RACI matrix in resource management? RACI stands for Responsible, Accountable, Consulted, and Informed. This matrix is important because it helps an organization to find the clarity and duties of every involved member and avoid the overlapping of roles and responsibilities. Mainly, it's a key component of Prince project management and the lean method. One can use this matrix when decision-making has a direct impact on project performance, when the project load is not divided correctly, and when there is a conflict about task ownership. 40. Can you explain SIPOC? SIPOC means suppliers, inputs, processes, outputs, and customers. This is a key process mapping and improvement method for inputs and outputs. The concept is part of the total quality movement and is often processed using project management software. 41. Critical chain method. Are you aware of this term? If yes, explain it a bit. The critical chain method is a relatively new project management concept that is used to improve performance by dealing with resource constraints and finding teammates that overestimate the task duration. In one go, it aims to fix issues such as late project delivery, unproductive multitasking, and budget overruns. 42. What buffer types are involved in the critical chain method? There are 3 broad buffer types: project buffer, feeding buffer, and resource buffer. Project buffer is included chiefly at the end of every project activity. One project buffer is linked with one project. The feeding buffer, often known as the integration buffer, is the added time at the end of every non-critical task. This should happen before the concerned sequence becomes part of the critical chain. Lastly, we have a resource buffer that informs the project team that they are marching forward with extra resources. 43. Explain the buffer burn rate briefly. Buffer burn rate is the term mainly used in critical chain project management, and it refers to the ratio of consumed buffer and completed project percentage. If the calculated result is less than 1, the project is on time. 44. What do you know about Agile project management? Agile project management is one of the most used and viable project management approaches, and it focuses on breaking huge projects into small sections so project management is more effective. This is not a guideline, but an umbrella-like framework featuring multiple sections. 45. State some principles of Agile project management. Multiple principles are part of the Agile project management approach. Some include keeping customer satisfaction a priority, implementing changes as and when required, ensuring that software sprints are frequently formed and used, maintaining a constant collaboration between the development team and stakeholders, keeping the project as simple as possible. Face-to-face communication is the best option, and self-organized teams lead to better requirement address and design adherence. 46. What incidents can cause scope creep? Scope creep can take place before and during the project. In each case, different issues are responsible for scope creep. For instance, the ambiguous scope of work, inflexible change process, and lack of periodization are the reasons for scope creep before the project. During the project, issues that introduce scope creep include uncontrolled changes, ineffective teamwork, and too many stakeholders. 47. Define PERT in project management. PERT stands for Project Evaluation and Review Technique and is a very commonly used project management tool in multiple ways, providing the graphical representation of the project timeline, evaluating the time estimates in 3 segments, and breaking down the individual project. 48. Which factors help in defining PERT? 3 factors help in defining the PERT. The first factor is optimistic time, which is the shortest time for one activity completion. Pessimistic time is the longest time for task completion. And lastly, likely time, which refers to the time that team consumes for estimating the best outcome. 49. What do you mean by high-level requirements in project management? High-level requirements are the objectives the project seeks to meet. They're outlined in the project charter and are important because they allow project managers and team members to gain a bird's-eye view of the project and help the team to understand what a project is all about. They are not very complex and are easy to understand. They help a project team to understand which tasks need immediate attention. 50. Do you know what the project baseline is? The project baseline is the starting point of the project plan, and it is a fixed reference point. 51. How does project baseline help in project management? Project baseline is a key tool that project managers can use to understand where the project starts and can be used to gain visibility to every team's core tasks, monitor the project progress, and find out what potential issues exist. 52. How fast-tracking helps? Fast-tracking helps in compressing the schedule, identifying activities, and performing them in parallel and working on different tasks simultaneously. 53. What are the differences between the project manager and the program manager? A project manager is someone responsible for handling a specific project and handling responsibilities like resource management and responsibility allocation. The program manager handles multiple projects at a time. 54. What is an Agile product roadmap? An Agile product roadmap acts like a reliable navigation tool by providing a detailed overview of day-to-day work and setting strategic goals for a given project. 55. Explain the contingency plan. As per the Project Management Institute, a contingency plan is a powerful project management tool that refers to the involvement of standard procedures in case a risk arises. 56. Describe some contingency planning challenges. The key challenges here are driving priority, lack of awareness amongst the team, and ensuring that there is a proactive Plan B to deal with the failure of Plan A. 57. Explain the Six Sigma methodology briefly. Six Sigma is a well-known project management methodology that project managers use to measure performance. The methodology only involves the Sigma-level business processes for performance tracking. This helps greatly in removing the defects-causing processes. The methodology brings a lot to the table. For instance, it enables managers to make data-driven decisions, reduce overhead, and improve efficiency. 58. How can one implement the Six Sigma methodology? To ensure that the Six Sigma methodology is churning best outcomes, project managers should ensure that senior leadership is well aware of the processes and enough training is provided. There should be an encouraging environment for education and innovation. Close communication channels should be established between the team, customers, and other key stakeholders. Project managers should have an active framework for continuous process improvement. 59. What do you know about Prince2 project management? It stands for PR objects, N, C, controlled, E, environments, and is a highly structured project management approach that instructs project managers to break down tedious projects into easy-to-manage phases. It's the key project management approach for the UK government and is globally recognized. It's based on 7 themes and principles. Prince2 certification by Axelos is quite popular among project managers that have excelled in this approach. 60. As you just stated that 7 principles are used in Prince2, can you explain those themes? The foundation of Prince2 is based on 7 themes that are continuous business justification, learning from past experiences, clearly defining the roles and responsibilities of the project team, the project being managed by stages, project management being based on exceptions, primarily focusing on the products, and lastly, the tool should be able to adapt to the project requirements. 61. What do you think? Is PRISM useful? In the present era, businesses must look beyond their team, projects, and products. They also must fulfill social responsibilities. This is why they need a project management methodology that simultaneously handles sustainability and projects. PRISM focuses on exactly that. The methodology can handle the social responsibility of a business towards employees, suppliers, media, and even the government. Considering all this, PRISM is undoubtedly a preferred project management methodology in the present era. 62. What do you know about Project Management Office or PMO? Anyone dealing with a project is aware of PMO. This department provides a set of verified and established project management practices. Every organization has one PMO that monitors the project management planning and execution. It also maintains the project metrics and documentation. 63. Can you explain Monte Carlo analysis in project management? Monte Carlo analysis was developed in 1940 by an atomic nuclear scientist and later became part of project management. This is mainly used to determine a risk's impact on a project. Other than finding the impact of the risk, the analysis also helps significantly in activities scheduling, project overhead estimation, and other project activities. With this analysis, it's easy for project managers to determine the impact of risk. 64. State some limitations of Monte Carlo analysis. While the analysis is excellent to find risk factors, the Monte Carlo method comes with certain limitations. For example, it's very time-consuming, has high inaccuracy possibility, and fails to track specific tasks or activities. The process also requires additional investments like software purchases to support the analysis. 65. As a project manager, what's your strategy to deal with unexpected changes that occur during project execution? The best way to deal with such changes is to enforce adaptability at the infrastructure and team levels. Project managers must use tools that can help them execute project changes quickly. The team should be open-minded and must not fret about seeing these changes. 66. What is a Scrum Master? A type of project manager, the Scrum Master is the leader of a Scrum team and uses various techniques to keep project progress on track and ensure that they remain in sync with the Scrum principles. This role exists where the Scrum project management tool is used. Project managers can aim for this role after earning a Scrum certificate. 67. What main authority levels exist for any project? For any typical project, 4 levels of authority are there. For instance, we have senior management, middle management, operational staff, and advisory. 68. How can you calculate the ROI of your project? ROI means return on investment, and it is a relatively common quantitative measure that project managers refer to find out the financial and non-financial outcomes that one can experience with a project. ROI helps in justifying the project, rationalizing the expenditure, and pursuing a specific action. ROI can be calculated using the cost, benefits, annual cash flow, and non-monetary benefits of a project. 69. What is cost-benefit analysis? This is an attempt to find out the suitable alternatives for a project and their direct impacts on the project. Significantly, cost and benefits of a project are taken into consideration for this analysis. 70. Explain project scoring. Project scoring is a key part of project portfolio management. It is useful to explain the set of criteria that can help you find the critical projects and programs belonging to a single portfolio. It is performed using specific methods and techniques. That's all from this video. Whether you're going for an interview or not, these 70 questions will help you strengthen your understanding of key project management concepts and processes. Also, if you're looking for project management jobs, going for project management certifications like PMI, PMP, CAPM, Prince2, or CSM is highly recommended. Check out the video on the right for more content to help you develop your IT career.